Busting makes me feel good. If you also enjoy busting, then boy do I have the game for you. Welcome to the channel. My name is Davey Moans.
Name him!
Davey Moans.
And this is Banisher's Ghost of New Eden. If you have no idea what this game is, it's God of War. Except you have a sidekick to help you in combat and with puzzles whose name starts with an A.
Atreus.
My name is Antea.
Ah, shit. But for real, this game is pretty similar to God of War in its combat and how you navigate the game world. But this game is so much more than a knockoff. The characters are well written, and the story, as well as most of the side content, always points back to the main conflict of the game.
Deborah Comenius.
Daddy, chill.
You also have some relatively meaningful choices to make along the way. The game has 42 trophies to earn for the platinum, and there are 3 stages to earning all of these. Firstly, I have to mention this game has 2 different endings, and to get the platinum, you'll need to see both of them. Banishers live by a code.
Life to the living, death to the dead.
During the first playthrough,
Code is the law.
I'll be going for the good ending. Here, I'll earn 13 trophies. This game also has a point of no return, so before beating the game, I'll complete all 28 of the miscellaneous trophies. After that, I'll beat the game, and then it's time for playthrough 2, where the code
It's more what you call guidelines than actual rules.
And during this, I'll be performing a gaslighting speedrun, where I'll blame the living in order to resurrect Antea.
Someone has to pay the piper. May as well be you.
This is outrageous. It's unfair.
Thank you for watching. Now let's get started.
I offer you a choice. Join my crew. Will ye serve?
The game starts with Red and Antea arriving at America. For the intro, you play as Antea, who is not yet a ghost, so...
I have a bad feeling about this.
But before things inevitably get spooky, Antea shows me how to bust. I mean vanish.
Oh, yeah.
The vibes in New Eden are very welcoming, and it seems like a great place for a
Little walk in the moonlight.
At the center of town, we meet 3 very important people to the story.
Charlie, we're here. Your prayers are answered. Pour us a drink.
50,000 people used to live here. Now it's a ghost town.
We'll be interacting with them more throughout the game, but the reason we're here is to help out another Banisher. But old Charles decided to get murdered.
We're sorry for your loss.
And through a Banisher ritual, we learned this wasn't just any old murder. It was a ghost murder.
Good job.
But first things first, Charles' ghost still lingers here, so using his ghost tie, we're able to summon him. Now he wants to stick around, but Antea isn't too keen on that.
I missed the part where that's my problem.
And she's just about to banish their former friend to hell when Red arrives to remind her that there's another way. And then we peacefully give him his assent. Damn, Antea, jumping the gun just a little bit there, huh? The two settle down for the night and have a conversation that will definitely not foreshadow anything at all.
Would you banish me? If it came to it.
You'll not escape me so easy.
And after some spooky dreams, a woman. We wake up playing as Red. Pretty smooth transition game, I'll give it to you.
You sly dog!
Our search for Antea leads us to the meeting house, and here we're confronted by the nightmare that killed Charles.
Are you threatening me, Master Jedi?
The Senate will decide your fate.
I am the Senate.
Not yet.
It's treason, then.
This leads to a fight that I'm scripted to lose, guys, I swear. Antea finally decides to get off her lazy ass, but she probably regrets that because she gets one-shotted.
Will you come to her aid now when all is lost?
And with that, the game's premise is set. Red awakes having been saved from the ocean by a witch named Seeker. She gives me some cryptic information and instructs me to find her teacher, Ceridian. The first thing I do is grab a collectible. I'm gonna need all these at some point. And very shortly after heading out, we hear Antea and find her ghost. This earns me the first trophy of the game.
No, don't go.
Ghosts in this game need essence to maintain themselves. Usually they leech it from humans, but some can also be gathered from other ghost ties. For now, Antea uses Charles' ghost tie, and the two discuss what the options are.
He joked about bringing me back to life. Is that possible?
Yes. The ritual of lesser palingenesis. We're talking about human sacrifice.
Write that down!
Murder.
Could I give you your assent?
That would be the simplest solution.
At this campfire of ours, the game introduces the ability to upgrade equipment, and doing that for the first time earns the game's second trophy. Being reunited with Antea gives me the ability to use her in combat, but starting off, she's pretty useless.
You disappoint me.
The combat in this game in general starts pretty slow, but it does get a lot better over time. Beyond our cave, we encounter Discount Jon Snow, and he really wants to find a guy named Ben.
Ben? Who's Ben?
Poor child. He's shrouded in spectral stains.
Yeah, I bet if we had a blacklight, this whole place would be covered in spectral stains. Now this is our first haunting case. A few are story required, but most of them are side missions. They all involve a living person and a ghost, and by searching for evidence, you'll be able to put together what actually happened.
Oh, a shite on a short stick.
Stay back!
Bloody hell. Lad's been torn to pieces. No, wait. He's been carved with a knife. For his meat.
At the end of the investigation, you'll have to confront them both.
What? No. No, that's not what happened. Leave me be.
What about my uncle? Did you give him a chance?
Now the choices you make here will determine which ending you get. I'll be going for the Ascension ending first, so I'll always be ascending or banishing the ghost. You got lucky this time, Jacob. That unlocks a new ability for Antea, and now I have to officially make an oath stating which path I want to take. I believe if you do the opposite of what oath you took, it'll mess up your ending, but I do not want to find out for myself, so I'll be doing Ascents only. Making this oath also gives me the next trophy. We use Antea's new ability to traverse a downed bridge en route to New Eden, and along the way I encounter a nest, one of this game's side activities. All of these have modifiers, so you want to try to play by its rules to make your life easier, but I was too locked in, too laser focused on the enemy, waiting for my chance to bust. And then I got fucking clapped. And again. But beating those gives you resources and power boosts, so I would be doing almost all of them. We reach a hunter's camp on the road and talk to its second-in-command, Kate Newsmith. She says the people there are tormented by a beast, and we have to prove ourselves.
Help who needs helping.
We do this by taking on 2 haunting cases in the camp. Now for the most part, these cases will go like this. A person will tell you something,
Fortune Heaton, sir, and so very pleased that you came along.
and very quickly you'll determine,
So that was a fucking lie.
and then there will be a twist of some sort. Here, this blacksmith is haunted by his tools because he killed the real blacksmith who was abusing his wife, and now he's impersonating him.
A surprise, to be sure.
The other case in town has us track a very suspicious woman, and her secret sure is dastardly. Oh, she's French. Yuck.
The Banisher who lived.
Come to die.
But unlike the last guy, he knows she's a spy, so he's stuck around to protect her. Unfortunately for him, his ghostly presence will eventually kill her, so I send him off. While I was working these cases, I came across another nest, and after a quick bust, I defeated 4 enemies with each Red and Antea to get a trophy. With our value established, we meet the real leader of the camp, Thickskin, who we briefly met at New Eden, and she wants us to hunt the beast.
Kill the beast.
And to do this, we're going to need some firepower. We track the beast to a wolf den, where we sadly discover
Not even the younglings survived.
What could have done this?
A memory ripples here.
If into the security recordings you go, only pain will you find.
I must know the truth, Master.
You have done well, my new apprentice.
I can't watch anymore.
We continue to track the beast and learn that Thickskin gave a group of travelers whistles to blow if they were in danger. I was pretty sus at that, and after having some very insightful conversations with those travelers' corpses, We confirmed those whistles were dog whistles, and that got everybody killed by wolves.
Good job.
We get ambushed by specters after that, and I got 2 trophies here, compliments of my new rifle. First for getting 5 headshots in 1 encounter, and then for defeating 8 enemies in a single encounter without being hit. We learned some beast lore after that, and now we're ready for a boss fight.
Holy shit! Oh my god! It's the beast! It's the beast!
It's behind me, isn't it?
To slay the beast, we need to damage whichever part is glowing. Its attacks are pretty easy to avoid, and after shooting it a lot, I get a trophy. But things are about to get a little more complicated because the beast seems to be tied to the nightmare.
The voice of the nightmare.
We confront the Newsmith sisters for their misdeeds. The choice we have is to spare or sacrifice Thickskin, but I really don't have a choice now, do I? We get a little bit more story as the ghost of a lady named Deborah emerges from the beast.
Who the fuck is that?
And with another trophy, it's time to journey on. We reach the Maya Marshes and get a new skill for Antea called Outburst. Now hear me out. The sound effect for this ability sounded really familiar to me. And I think I was able to place it. Warframe, Valkyr, her paralysis ability. Anyway, that ability gives me the next trophy for defeating 3 enemies at once. And after being lost in some mist for annoyingly too long, we find Seeker being harassed by a large ghost. We spook him off by lighting some candles for her, and she agrees to take us to Ceridian. Now, Ceridian may look like a meth head, 70% of the way through transforming into Gollum, but after some cryptic bullshit, she eventually tells us something we can actually do.
Seek them out. Help them.
And she gives us a tool to travel through the void. Traversing the void has a pretty sick animation. And this initial time is one of very few creepy sections in the game.
Stop it.
To exit the void each time, you'll have to defeat a sorrow, and you'll do this by destroying 3 pillars somewhere around it. Each void breach will also end with a chest that contains a piece of gear.
Nice.
Now, the game actually gives you a choice on which order to do the next story sections, and I decided to go north. Here we find snowy mountains, and this was my favorite part of the game. The snowy landscapes look great, and little things like snow piling on your clothes and hair add to the vibes. Our initial goal here is to reach Fort Jericho, and at its gates I contribute to the white piles on the ground by banishing my 50th ghost. In order to get let into the fort, we have to help a Helen priest, and we find her with the ghost of her husband. Captain Pennington is the leader around here, and he may be an asshole, but he's got some bars.
Welcome to the last stand, Wraith. Welcome to the end.
He's pretty black-pilled on the state of things, and his inaction causes Helen to send us into the mines below.
Always on the move.
Sebastian shows up again to guide us, and it seems the mines are indeed haunted.
What the hell was that?
It turns out the mine was put under quarantine, which led to a rebellion, and everyone died.
Charming.
And our investigation reveals to us that Mr. Priest here hasn't been entirely truthful. He's been hellbent on punishing Pennington, but in reality, he was just as guilty for what happened here.
You were to tend to the sick. Instead, you afflicted them.
I lied.
He can't handle the truth and runs off, which leads us to finding his body, as well as discovering a new twist.
There's no ghost tie.
I think it's an effigy of Sebastian sent to get close to Helen. Maybe even to Pennington.
The only way to get answers is to face the next boss, and this one was my favorite in the game.
And climb. And knock. And the captain will taste his own medicine.
This is the Puppeteer, and in order to beat it, you have to shoot the weak links in the chains holding it after it attacks. And each section is broken up by Antea being grabbed. In the dark, you have to track her down, and after making no mistakes at all, I get back to the chains. The fight ends with a story trophy and another cameo from Deborah where we learn Pennington locked her up after a witch hunt. And now it's time to confront Pennington. We press him on Deborah, but he's still busy spitting bars.
That's what was in the mines, wasn't it? And you knew, didn't you?
What I know and you do not would fill a library.
Smoke weed every day.
It's up to us to decide who gets to lead the fort now, and oh man, it's a big decision. I think I need some post-bus clarity for this. I've made my decision. The wench is compromised. Pennington will remain in charge. Beyond that, we also spare him for the Ascension ending, and doing that gives me another story trophy. Our success unlocks Antea's next ability, and we're called back to Ceridian's Island. We can now solve tentacle puzzles with that ability, and we find Ceridian about to die. Let me guess, overdose? We're interrupted by the ghost that was attacking Seeker, and we take the liberty of blowing this fool's head smooth off. Ceridian pulls a Padme,
She's lost the will to live.
and I get a trophy. Red and Antea have a heart-to-heart after that, and here I have to reaffirm my oath. I obviously stick with Ascension, and that earns another trophy. Now, let's break from the story to cover some of the side activities. Firstly, I earned one of the truly random trophies in the game for destroying 300 destructibles. After that, and along the story, I'm working on a wide array of different activities. The ones that have trophies associated to them are Cursed Chest. To open these, you have to find 3 associated totems, usually nearby, and then perform a ritual to open the chest, yielding you gear.
How'd that get in there?
There are also lock chests that require you to find a key.
You can do nothing without the key.
I already have the key. No, you don't.
The game also has treasure maps that you have to find and then solve. And most of these I'll fortunately solve on accident as I explore.
According to the map, the treasure should be near.
The game is pretty helpful when it comes to these, so with a few exceptions later, these are pretty easy. Haunted grounds are really just puzzles, usually involving tentacles, and they also reward you with gear.
That was fun.
I had done several more haunting cases by now, always choosing to get rid of the ghost, which allows me to perfectly dodge any potential moral complexity.
Why were the Pennacook attacked, Paris?
There should have been no attack. They were supposed to take sick and leave the land. That was all.
Well, sorry Jane, it's just not your day. Don't worry though, I'll help you out in the Blame playthrough.
No way. We got you. Not a chance.
The other haunting case I'll highlight before getting back to this story is the haunting of Bly Manor. Here, this starts off on brand enough. We have a dead wife and a prime suspect in the husband, but things start to get a little weird.
You're a ghost haunting a Banisher. Isn't that just a little contradictory?
Ironic.
That was odd.
Investigating their tentacle-filled house reveals to us that Abigail here isn't Abigail at all.
Abigail has left us, my dears.
But she's a damn demon.
It's something that's never walked the earth in human form. It's something demonic.
We banish it, and this house has one last secret for us. By adjusting paintings in the right order, a secret room opens up. This earns a trophy and reveals a lock chest. Now all this banishing has been quite profitable for us, and I reached 10,000 gold for the next trophy. Now back to the main story. Now I have to head to the south part of the map, and very quickly I find my 50th soul grabber. These are collectibles to shoot around the map. They're pretty easy to find, and there are well over 50, so this was pretty simple. We arrive on the Harrows, and Red tries to ore a farm like Aragorn in Helm's Deep. But nobody's around to see. Kind of embarrassing, bro.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine.
After some investigation, we find the people there and meet up with the last leader we met at the beginning of the game. The town is plagued by a sickness, and he's blaming it on
a witch.
We ask around for suspects, and it seems like there's a common target.
Watson.
Caleb Watson.
Caleb Watson.
And yeah, Caleb Watson is certainly a strange guy.
Is it again?
You what?
He leads us to a graveyard where we discover he tried to resurrect someone. But he's not that guy, so it went horribly wrong, and his body's now possessed.
Down, boy.
Good job.
Before we rectify his mistake, he tells us he learned the ritual from Haskell's son.
Young Lammy would talk magic.
Got your ass.
So I handle his possession problem and report our findings to the governor.
The name is Lamentation Haskell.
He's obviously not thrilled with the news and wants us to keep digging.
Find the real source of evil.
We track his son Lammy through several locations and eventually end up in the Void. We find Lammy and he explains his theory that ooze from the Void is leaching into the world, and that is what's causing the sickness. We exit the Void and end up below the town, and yep, it certainly has lots of ooze.
Disgusting!
One of the many things this game does well is visual storytelling. Here below the town, we see a house sunken down into the abyss. We could see this same location previously from above.
I like this.
Likewise, the well in town that gave us bad vibes earlier can also be seen here. Now this house belonged to the Gibbs family, and they were also involved with the witch hunt for Deborah. Unfortunately for me, they're both still lingering around, and after dealing with them, a boss fight's coming up. So in preparation, I upgraded my gun to max level, giving me the next trophy. The next boss is the ooze itself, and it represents the witch trial Deborah went through. It also takes the form of both Red and Antea, and I found this one to be super easy.
Is this all you can conjure, Saruman?
Beating it earns a trophy, and back at town, Red tries his Aragorn impression again, this time with a little bit less confidence, but still manages to aura farm off the governor.
So true. You had Gibbs, fearful of the dead. You toy with Lammy, he did his father. Yet still, I poisoned your flock, Haskell. I was his beloved wife. I have no proof.
Forgive me for swearing in the meeting house, but this is a bloomin' farce.
We choose to spare him, but we still out his son to everyone.
Sorry, son.
And deciding his fate earns the next story trophy. We are rewarded with a new ability for Antea and a few new skills that will help me earn a trophy shortly. All that should be left in the game is to use the Void Portal on Ceridian's Island to reach New Eden, but for unknown reasons the portal doesn't work.
Why isn't it possible?
Seeker's also nowhere to be found, and that's going to lead us on a wild goose chase for a bit. Before we get started with that, I get to use Antea's new ability, which is a typical rage mechanic. As we leave the island to begin the hunt for Seeker, I finally came across a ghost I'd banished to the void. And this fight was very convenient for me because I was able to freeze 5 enemies using those new skills I got, before defeating him again to get a second trophy. Now like I said, we have to run around for a bit trying to find Seeker, but ultimately we need to go back to the void to open up her hiding place.
That's just great. Just great.
This technically isn't the point of no return, but it's very close, so I'm going to pause again and clean up everything that the world has left.
I didn't want... I miss Ben.
Easy, lad.
No, I have no intention of settling down. This man killed my uncle, and he's still out there.
Completing the haunting case, Saints and Sinners, unlocks a task to collect 5 Bibles. For a trophy, I have to find all 15. I've seen most, if not all of these around already, but I annoyingly couldn't pick them up until now. So for the next half hour, I went on a little crusade to find them all. I continue to work on side activities, and inside a void portal I finally killed 3 enemies with a post-parry attack. You'd probably expect this to be a trophy you'd earn a lot earlier, but I really wasn't a fan of the parry in this game, and on top of that,
I am a slow learner.
I got another combat trophy next for 50 kills while fusion is active. And then I found the last shelter in the game. The next thing I would do is complete the final haunting case. Just a little familial dispute over buried treasure.
You'll not have the treasure, you snake!
Nor will you now that you're dead.
But the real treasure is the gold trophy I get at the end. I wrapped up the lock chest, haunting grounds, and then cursed chest next. And that brings me to the last few treasure maps. I must have misread something somewhere because I thought there was 13, meaning I had all the maps and only 2 to still solve. The first was easy, but damn, this mysterious cache can fuck right off. I had to run all over the damn map for this, and it just would not end.
But you can't do this to me.
The fuck?
What the fuck is this?
But finally, I found the actual treasure, and I was expecting the trophy, but it's not gonna pop, because I was missing an entire map.
What an idiot!
Using a guide, I found it quickly, and there's the trophy. I took a much needed break from collecting stuff, and went for 2 other trophies. I need to have max level gear in all slots, so I upgraded my gear as far as I could, but I'm gonna need a few more nest silts, and that's where the second trophy comes in. I have to complete an endless ritual site 10 times, so I chose one that will also give me the nest silts. I'm close to fully upgraded by this point, so this was relatively easy. I also abided by the modifier each round, so this wasn't too much trouble.
Now let me see you go off like a bomb. Now let me see you go off like a bomb.
Piss off.
With 10 waves done, I returned to the campfire to finish off my upgrades, and now the last thing to do is find all the remaining collectibles. I was not following a guide as I played, but I was pretty thorough looking around as I went, so I am pretty curious to see how I missed these. The first one was just in a bag behind a hut I've been to several times. That one's kind of embarrassing. The next one was also in a place I'd been, but you can only see it with Antea, so don't feel too bad about that one. The final one for this area was super dirty by the devs. Once again, you can only see it with Antea, but the audio clue for it could easily have been for the ritual site right next to it, so I blame the devs for that one. The rest of them weren't anywhere special, usually just lying on the ground in the middle of nowhere, so great. And that's all I can do for now. I have to progress the story for the rest, so back to it. We take our trip into the void to learn how to unveil Seeker, and when we finally find her, she's pretty useless.
We need your help.
Of course you do.
Bitch! And I'm honestly not sure how this helped us.
You must leave whatever still burns in your hearts at the threshold. If you don't, the void will kill you.
Just want you to stop saying odd shit.
But more importantly, this area has a chest with the last piece of gear in it, as well as the last collectible for this area. Plus, the final miscellaneous trophy for reading this document.
This will be useful.
Now, it was probably a waste of time, but I went and farmed XP before returning to New Eden to ensure I would hit level 25. And after probably another hour, I deemed I was close enough and took the portal, which immediately gave me 1800 XP to hit level 25. So yeah, I probably just wasted my time farming. Here in the void, the creepy voice from earlier returns, and it's revealed that this is a demon that Antea faced and banished as a child. Defeating it earns me another trophy and clears the way back to New Eden. Here, I'm able to pick up the final 2 collectibles and prepare to face the nightmare once again. This fight was incredibly easy, and it took literally 30 seconds to drain her health bar. But there was a second phase that was slightly more challenging, but still I basically dominated her. Get busted. Deborah, thanks to our work, is now ready to move on, and that is what ultimately destroys the nightmare.
Go back to the shadow.
Now, the game cops out and forces you to ascend Deborah instead of giving you the usual choice to ascend or banish.
You are out. And free to go.
Ha! Gay!
I thought this was super lame given how every other part of the game works that way, and you know, she killed Antea. Whatever. The cutscene continues with a very heartfelt moment as we give Antea her ascent.
Someday, we'll meet again.
Take all the time in the world.
Farewell, my love.
I don't feel so good. For the dead.
Life. For the living.
And with that bittersweet ending, I get a gold trophy. Now I'm at 48.5 hours, and it's time for a speed run to get the other ending. I don't have to start all the way over, but it's pretty close. I have a save before I made the first oath, so I loaded it up, and let's go.
The time has come.
The time has come.
The time has come. Execute Order 66.
The cool thing about this game is that some things play out differently based on the choices you make with the leaders. For example, last time Jane was the ghost when I had to banish her, but this time, Jane's still alive and I have to sacrifice her. Whoops! With all our sacrifices made, we reach the end again and successfully bring Antea back.
Death to the living. Life to the dead.
Which gives me the last trophy and the platinum.
Recovered from the time when she was dead.
My final playtime was a little over 59 hours. I did really like this game and would recommend it and its platinum. Thanks for watching, subscribe if you enjoyed, and come back next time to see me platinum BioShock.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out!
Is that it? I think so.